There is a vehicle that has never won a comparison test against European rivals. It has never been praised for its cabin materials at its price point. Reviewers have called it dated. They have said the interior feels behind. They have pointed to competitors that offer more sophistication for the same money. And yet, in Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Australia, India, and across more than 100 markets globally, this SUV outsells its more sophisticated rivals by margins that defy the logic of those comparison tests. Because the buyers who purchase this vehicle are not buying a winner of comparison tests. They are buying 20 years of evidence that this vehicle starts every morning, survives every road, holds its value better than almost anything it competes with, and comes with a badge that has earned a level of trust that no press release can manufacture. The vehicle is the Toyota Fortuner Legender. And the next generation, confirmed in development, moving to a new platform, expected with hybrid technology and a cabin that finally answers every criticism the current version has collected, is about to ask a question that the entire segment needs to answer. What happens when the most trusted SUV in the world also becomes the most modern? Welcome to MotorDreamer, where we go past the spec sheet and into the story that actually matters. Today, we're breaking down the 2027 Toyota Fortuner Legender, the next-gen vision built on confirmed development direction and the 2 decades of reputation that make this vehicle impossible to ignore. Before we go further, the transparency MotorDreamer always leads with. The 2027 Fortuner Legender has not been officially revealed by Toyota. What is confirmed? A next-generation Fortuner is in active development, moving to Toyota's updated ladder frame architecture derived from the Hilux and Land Cruiser Prado platforms, a significant structural upgrade that Toyota India confirmed in March 2026. A panoramic sunroof is expected as a first-ever feature for the model. Full hybrid powertrain options are being discussed alongside the continued diesel lineup, and ADAS safety technology, luxury interior upgrades, and connected vehicle features are all confirmed as priorities for the next generation. The concept vision we're exploring today is built entirely on that confirmed direction, and on 20 years of understanding exactly what Fortuner buyers have always wanted and what they've always been willing to forgive. Design is where the 2027 Legender makes its first statement, and where Toyota appears to be pushing further than any previous Fortuner has gone. The Legender nameplate has always carried a more aggressive, more premium visual identity than the standard Fortuner: the Lexus-inspired front fascia, the gloss black grille treatment, the sharper light signature that separates it from the base model. The next generation takes that direction and amplifies it. A wider, darker, more cinematic front end with a gloss black grille that fills the nose more completely than before. A slim LED light bar stretching across the nose in the style of Toyota's newest flagships, modern and expensive looking without being aggressive for the sake of it. Sharp daytime running lights, vertical lamp elements at the corners, and a sculpted lower bumper create a face that reads as equally capable in a city street, on a highway, and on rough terrain. The muscular bonnet carries forward the Fortuner's signature squared-off power lines. Flared wheel arches, large alloy wheels, and high ground clearance remind every onlooker that this is still a body-on-frame ladder chassis SUV built to go places that most vehicles refuse to attempt. But the cleaner surfaces and more refined detailing make it feel less like a pure utility machine and more like a premium adventure vehicle that happens to be genuinely capable. From the side and rear, the Fortuner DNA stays unmistakable: upright cabin, practical shape, slim LED taillights. But the overall silhouette feels more polished and more desirable than the generation it replaces. This is still a Fortuner. It just no longer looks like it is trying to win on toughness alone. Step inside, and this is where the next generation story becomes genuinely exciting, and where Toyota has the most ground to recover. The honest criticism of the current Legender is consistent across every market it sells in. Reviewers at Card Echo, Carwhale, and Auto Evolution all reach the same conclusion: the interior feels dated for the price. The cabin materials in less visible areas fall short of what the Legender's premium positioning suggests. Against the Skoda Kodiaq and Jeep Meridian at similar price points, the current Fortuner's interior sophistication simply does not match its exterior presence or its price tag. The 2027 generation appears to be Toyota's direct response to that criticism. A wider, calmer dashboard layout centered around a large touchscreen that operates as the primary digital interface. A fully digital driver display with cleaner graphics and mode-specific information. Soft-touch surfaces across the areas buyers touch most often. Contrast stitching, layered trim, genuine leather upholstery on Legender variants, and ambient lighting that transforms the cabin experience at night. The first-ever panoramic sunroof for the Fortuner nameplate, confirmed as a target feature, brings natural light into a cabin that previous generations kept deliberately enclosed. What Toyota is building toward is an interior that does not ask buyers to compromise their sense of occasion in order to get the Fortuner's reliability and capability. Both things at the same time. That is the upgrade the market has been waiting for. The powertrain story is where Toyota has to walk the most careful line, because the Fortuner's reputation is built on engines that keep working long after everything else on the road has given up. The current Legender's 2.8-liter turbodiesel producing 201 horsepower and 500 Newton-meters of torque is already one of the most proven powertrains in its class. The 48V mild hybrid system that Toyota introduced on the current generation gives a preview of where the next generation is heading. For 2027, the expectation, based on Toyota's confirmed hybrid direction across their ladder frame lineup, is a more sophisticated hybrid integration that delivers meaningfully better fuel economy, smoother low-speed response, and a quieter driving experience in city traffic, without reducing the torque delivery and towing capability that Fortuner buyers depend on. The updated platform shared with the Hilux and Land Cruiser Prado brings structural rigidity improvements, better approach and departure angles, and refined suspension geometry that should make the next-gen Fortuner feel more composed on rough surfaces without sacrificing the ground clearance and articulation that have always been its off-road calling card. What Toyota is targeting is a Fortuner that no longer forces buyers to feel the truck underneath them every time they drive to work, but still becomes exactly that truck the moment the road disappears entirely. Here is the criticism that Toyota has to answer with the 2027 generation, and the one that the current Legender's sales numbers have allowed Toyota to partially ignore for too long. At $56,000 to $62,000 USD across global markets, the Fortuner Legender costs more than the Ford Everest, more than the Mitsubishi Pajero Sport, and more than the Isuzu MU-X in the Indian market. It sits above $50,000 USD equivalent and competes directly with vehicles that reviewers consistently rate as more interior sophisticated. In Australia, it faces a Ford Bronco Sport and Isuzu D-Max-based Everest that offer more premium cabin experiences at comparable or lower prices. The Fortuner wins those comparisons on one argument, and one argument alone: long-term ownership. Resale value that consistently outperforms every competitor it faces. Reliability records that have made it the default choice for fleet operators, government agencies, and aid organizations across 100 markets. A dealer network and parts availability that means a Fortuner can be serviced in places where its competitors simply don't have support. But that argument, compelling as it is, requires buyers to accept a cabin experience that feels behind. And in 2027, with the interior upgrade Toyota is developing, that trade-off may finally disappear. If the next-gen Fortuner Legender delivers a cabin that matches its price while keeping everything that made its reputation, the critics will run out of objections entirely. On pricing, the 2027 Fortuner Legender is expected to continue in the $56,000 to $65,000 USD range globally depending on market, with local taxes, import duties, and trim configurations creating significant variation across Southeast Asia, the Middle East, India, and Australia. In markets where the Fortuner is positioned as a premium family and business SUV rather than a mainstream family hauler, the top Legender trim has historically commanded a price that sits just below entry-level European luxury SUVs, while offering the ownership economics that no European competitor at that price can match. Toyota India's own reports suggest a waiting period of 2 to 6 months at launch, which tells you everything about whether buyers in the vehicle's core markets are convinced by the critics' complaints or by 20 years of evidence. The answer is in the waiting list, and that answer says the Fortuner's audience already knows exactly what it wants and is prepared to wait for it. So here is where the 2027 Toyota Fortuner Legender concept vision actually lands. Toyota is not trying to reinvent this vehicle. They are not trying to turn it into something unrecognizable. They are trying to solve the one problem the current generation could not, making the most trusted SUV in the world feel modern enough to justify that trust for another decade without sacrificing a single element of the foundation that earned it. The design is moving forward. The interior is being rebuilt to finally match the Legender badge's premium promise. The hybrid powertrain brings efficiency and refinement without touching the durability. And the platform upgrade from Hilux and Land Cruiser Prado DNA brings structural credentials that no competitor in this segment can match at this price. The critics have been right about the current Fortuner's limitations, but the buyers who kept purchasing it, while the critics were writing those reviews, were not wrong either. They understood something the comparison tests don't capture, that a vehicle which starts every morning, holds its value, and keeps working in conditions where its competitors give up is worth more than its spec sheet suggests. In 2027, Toyota appears to be building a Fortuner that wins the comparison tests and keeps the trust. And if they manage both simultaneously, this SUV stops being a regional phenomenon and becomes a global conversation. Would you choose the 2027 Fortuner Legender for its legendary Toyota reliability, the new hybrid powertrain, or the interior upgrade that finally matches the price? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe to MotorDreamer and we'll see you in the next one.